So after you got to Dayton, then you became active in the flower business. And where was the first shop you worked at?
First shop was, didn't have much money. I had worked at another shop, and there was a customer that came in that I did some work for him, and he liked my work. So he said, if you ever want to go in business, I'll back you. And I took him up on that. He didn't have a lot of money. I think he had $5,000 he could invest. And we found an old carriage garage on 2nd Street. It was about 5 blocks from downtown Dayton, pretty well hidden off the beaten path. And I fixed it up, and I rented it upstairs. Of course, the carriage garage, the horses at one time were kept downstairs, and the servants lived upstairs. And so I got that all fixed up for a flower shop. And it wasn't a walk-in area, and I had to go out and knock on doors to try to get business. And it wasn't easy at that time. I had a couple ruptured discs that kept going out on me, and I would be crippled up, and I'd walk crippled, not intentionally, but I didn't have a choice and carry my briefcase, and I was able to get some accounts. And we built a pretty good business, particularly in wedding business, because I got to the wedding receptionists in all the department stores, and they either liked me or liked my work because they started sending me brides. And that kept us from, well, almost gone under. We were pretty much broke, and I got a job at Reich's in their department store in their design area. They had fresh rhododendron in boxes on the first floor, 14 huge boxes, about maybe they were 12 inches long and about 2 feet wide and maybe a foot deep. They had fresh rhododendron. My job was to put fresh water in there and take out the dead leaves. And the manager of that department came to me and he said, we're going to put live plants in there. He said, would you know how to take care of those? And I really didn't know, but I said, well, sure. I said, where are you going to get them? He said, well, we haven't decided. We've looked at Rogers and Gus Hurst. These were other retail florists. And I said, well, how about giving me a chance? He said, well, I didn't know you had anything like that. And I said, sure I do. I said, how about coming down Monday and seeing what I've got? So he said, okay. So he made an appointment with me, and I didn't have a plant in a place. And I borrowed $500 on my station wagon and drove to Chicago and got the most gorgeous plants you've ever seen, and cleaned them up with a little product that I had created called Clean Shine, and fixed them up and put them in my showroom. And he came down and he said, my God, man, he said, I didn't know you had this kind of stuff. You got the job. He didn't even ask me the price. So I think that job was around $1,700, and we're talking about late 1950s. That probably was like $4,000 or $5,000 now, and that kept me from going in the hole. And otherwise, I probably would have gone out of business. So I started getting customers from them, and then my partner and I decided that we'd go into a shopping center. Shopping centers were new then, and we got a storeroom at Town and Country Florist, and we opened a shop there, which ended up very successful.
Okay, and then during the time, obviously, when you were at Reich's, your family was expanding?
Oh yeah, we of course we had Sue, and then you were born. Let's see, that was before you were born before I had that little shop called Chuck's Floral Service.
Pretend like that's not Tom. Tell me. I don't know anything about your family. So.
Tom was born.
Tom was born.
Yeah, and during that time, actually Tom was born in '49. This is before I actually got involved in the flower business. And we moved to Dayton, and I worked for several retail florists. This was after I got out of floral school. And I wasn't very good. I didn't have the experience. And it was a question of either getting fired from 2 of the places or quitting. So I quit, and there was a shop opening up in Oakwood. We moved to an apartment in Kettering, and Kettering then was pretty small. We actually were in the country. And I went by this new flower shop. They weren't open yet, and I walked in and I said, do you need any help? And they said, yeah, can you come to work Monday? I said, sure. So I ended up going there on Monday, and he knew less than I did, and it gave me a chance to blossom. We're backtracking a little bit, and later we got into that business. But you were born, and then we moved from that apartment to a house out on West 3rd Street. They were building new little houses, and a veteran could buy that house for $750 down. And it was a pretty nice house because there wasn't much available then. Didn't have a garage. They didn't build garages then. They came later. The carports came, and then next the single attached garage, and next it was double, and now it's 3-car garages. But I ended up working for this guy, and then I opened this place called Chuck's Floral Service. And I might tell you this, that was a very poor name, but I've been known as Chuck for some time as one of my nicknames. And one of the weddings I had, after the wedding, I was there to collect the balance, and the lady was very nice. She says, I'm going to tell you something, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, but she said, Chuck sounds like a meat market. And I agreed with her, so when we got the new store, we called it Town and Country Florist. And I got rid of the name as Chuck. I started going as Charles.